All right, I'm not going to go over the architecture really because you were given a little bit of an introduction to it this morning. But in general, we have a few things. We have the microservices that were described. We have the stateful services that were also described this morning, like Postgres and Console, the SAS configuration server. We have web applications, and we have CAS. So they are the main things that make up the environment, and you got more detail on that this morning in the architecture materials. And I went over this already. That's our workshop architecture. So 2 Viya machines and 4 CAS machines, with each CAS machine kind of having a different role. But starting off with an MPP CAS environment with 1 worker. So in terms of configuration, you're probably all familiar with SAS 9.4, and configuration was in Management Console and configuration was on the file system. We have similar things going on with Viya. We have configuration files in a configuration directory on the file system on the machines. We have a SAS configuration server within Viya, which stores configuration for microservices and web applications. And then we also have the SAS infrastructure data server, which stores user content and configuration, things like custom groups and authorization rules and preferences and things like that. So configuration is stored in multiple places. In terms of configuration directories, as was mentioned this morning, you get opt SAS Viya, that's where our Viya software is, and opt SAS Spree. Spree is the SAS programming runtime environment. And that's basically, you can think of that as foundation SAS for Viya, basically. So that's the path to foundation SAS. And the opt SAS Viya is the path to the Viya software. And then within both of those directories, we have a home directory, which is the binaries. So the executables are separated. And then we have a config directory, which holds the configuration. And you'll get a chance to go in and look at that in a second. We also have the SAS configuration server, as was mentioned before, based on console. During deployment, that's initialized with a bunch of configuration as Ansible runs on each of the machine, and the microservice start up. And then you can also update that post-deployment within SAS Environment Manager or via the command line interfaces. There's also a command line interface in that to change the configuration. So that's microservices and web app configuration stored there. And then we have the SAS infrastructure data server, which is based on Postgres, and it holds things like information about custom groups, general authorization, folders, reports, comments, preferences, and much more stuff that is created as you navigate the environment and create content and change configuration.